Coming up on Takedown with Chris Hansen.
You be thinking dirty thoughts.
This man in Blount County, Alabama was looking for some entertainment.
Hey, how are you? You two put on a show with each other. What did you mean by that?
A show can mean anything.
What, do you think they're going to sing Christmas carols?
But he's the one who will be starring in his own show.
I'm Chris Hansen.
I know who you are.
You know who I am. You've seen the stories I've done before.
Yes.
And now you're in one.
Okay.
I hope you're enjoying this free full episode of Takedown on our YouTube channel, but there's something you need to know. There are literally hundreds of new episodes either in production or on our streaming channel right now, uncensored. Watch TruBlu.com. Use the code YouTube25 to watch all of the episodes for $2.50, or for an annual subscription, use YouTube Year for $20 off. Also, and this is very important, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on TruBlu.
In Blount County, Alabama, I'm joining Sheriff Mark Moon and his team for their latest human trafficking and crimes against children investigation. After the briefing, I head to the Sting House, where the deputies have been active online, chatting with men looking for sexual encounters of a varying nature. Deputy Justin Moore fills me in regarding a man wanting to meet a woman and her 15-year-old stepdaughter for sex and money.
So tell me about this chat.
He started off with asking if we were available, and we told him this was earlier in the day, so we gave him a time on when we would, and we told him about where we were, the city we were in, and he asked, do you two get down with each other? I want to get 2 hours.
2 hours he wants.
He sent a pic of himself, so we sent one back. He asked about the other girl, and I sent him a picture of the decoy that was posing as a 15-year-old, and he asked about the other girl, and I told him the one I just sent was only 15. And he said 15 with some question marks. I said, yeah, if that's okay. He said, what do you mean 15 question mark? I said, I mean, that's how old she is. And he said, that was too young. She can't even consent. Thank you for being honest. I'm still interested in you. And then he asked, do you girls put on a show with each other?
Said, meaning the stepmom and the stepdaughter?
Yes, sir. Then he said, I'd be willing to pay for both, but can only interact with you. And then he said, send me a pic of her, but make sure it's a legal one. He said, damn, you making this tough. Don't say anything more on the message.
You making this tough, don't say anything more on the message. What was he meaning by that?
Trying to cover his tracks where there's nothing leading back to him.
Right. He doesn't want a text of him saying he's open to the idea of having sex with a 15-year-old girl is what he's doing.
Absolutely. He said he's interested but cautious. We can work something out.
Interested but cautious. We can work something out.
He went on to say that he's nervous but very interested. And then he said, if you are down for 3, let me know. I definitely want 2 hours.
Down for 3 meaning 3 people.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours he wants.
Right.
And what's he willing to pay for that?
I believe we said 300.
300.
Mm-hmm. And I asked if he's going to be gentle with her. He's kind of danced around it the whole time.
Right.
Since that message of him not wanting to put it on the message. He said, I'm a nice guy not looking to be mean to anyone, just looking for a good time with some sweet girls who can give me some fun.
Is he worried at all that this might be some sort of law enforcement operation?
Never asked if we're the cops, never asked for any proof of live pictures.
That's
or
his
anything.
picture?
That's his. So he sent that one. So we kind of reeled him in, and he asked if I smoked.
Smoke meaning weed.
Right, and I told him my daughter does. And he said, I'm going to roll one, just wanted to see if I should bring it or not. So we told him to bring some.
Got it. And do we know what he does for a living?
No, we don't. He said something about he would have to leave work to go shower, so he was working earlier today.
How long has this conversation been going on?
Started at 11:20 this morning.
Okay.
He said he's going to bring his A game, and then he asked, he said he was going to the store, if we wanted anything, so we asked to get some White Claws. Then he sent some pretty explicit pictures.
What do they show?
Everything.
Got it. So he sends naked pictures of himself.
3 of them, actually.
3 naked pictures.
In the shower, to prove that he was in there.
Those photos we will not be showing you.
He said, I'm out the door. We gave him the address. He said 1 hour and 21 minutes. And he said, we told him to be careful. He said, I will. You be thinking dirty thoughts.
You be thinking dirty thoughts. All right. Jason's on his way.
About 30 minutes later, Jason, now freshly showered and on the road, texts saying he wants to talk on the phone. The decoy, playing the stepmother, makes the call.
Hello?
Hey, baby.
Hey, sweetie.
You on your way?
Yes, I am.
All right, we're waiting for you.
Okay, good deal. I'm getting on 459 right now. I don't know how familiar you are with the area.
Yeah, that's not too far. How far away does it say you are?
52 minutes.
Okay. We can't wait. We're excited.
All right, awesome.
All right, be careful.
I will. Sounds good. I'll text you when I'm like 5 minutes out.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
All right, 55 minutes, 52 minutes. Tick-tock.
52 minutes may seem like a long time, but the sheriff's office and I have to be ready for him to arrive at any moment. And in some cases, they are much closer than they say. We all get into position. Lieutenant Chad Long and I keep a close eye on the surveillance cameras. A few minutes later, Jason pulls up and parks in the driveway. The decoy heads to the door to meet him.
Hey. Was the traffic terrible?
It was fucking ridiculous.
I bet. Oh, good, you brought the stuff.
I thought it would be better once I got north of town, but it was not.
Really? Here, I'll get that. I'll put it in the fridge. How are you?
Top ones were on ice, so they're cold.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful.
Just whatever.
Okay, I know you have to use the restroom, but she's in the shower right now.
You're okay.
She's on. Hey, Misty, hurry up! He's here. Okay. She's gonna be a little nervous. Okay. You good?
Okay.
Be
I'm good.
gentle.
We all good?
Yeah, we're great. We're great. All right. Do you got the money?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That money is for sex with the woman and her stepdaughter.
Fantastic. All right, let me get her. I'm gonna hurry up, sister.
He better be enjoying that beer, because it might be the last one he has for a long time.
Hey, how are you? Gonna need you to sit down right over there. Right in that stool. Looks like someone made the naughty list tonight.
How so?
Hmm?
How so?
Well, what was your plan here?
To come hang out with a girl?
Hang out with a girl. Who's the girl?
The girl on an ad?
The girl on an ad. Tell me how this came together. What led you to this house tonight?
Just at work. Sent a message to an ad.
And where do you work?
At a golf course.
At a golf course. And what do you do at the golf course?
I'm a maintenance guy.
Maintenance guy. And what's your name?
Jason.
Jason. What do you do at the golf course, maintenance-wise?
Maintenance. Cut grass.
Yeah.
Work on things.
You an Indiana University guy.
Yes, sir.
Where you from?
I'm from Indiana originally.
And what brought you down to Alabama?
Work.
Work. How old of a fella are you?
I'm 37.
37. So tell me about the chat you had online with this woman who...
Chat on text.
On text. Right, which is online.
Yes.
And what were you looking for?
A girl to hang out with?
A girl to hang out with. So you started talking to this woman who is the stepmother of a 15-year-old girl.
Stepmother. I don't know. She kept talking about her niece, her daughter, or whatever.
Right. But the girl is 15.
Yeah, she said something about that. And I made it really clear I wasn't interested in that.
Well, at first you did.
No, I made it very clear I wasn't interested
You
in that.
at first said that 15, and then you indicated that might be too young, but then you changed your mind in the texts. And remember that I know a lot more than you probably think I know.
Well, if you have all the text, that's perfect.
Well, perfect for me, not so perfect for you.
Okay.
You two get it on with each other, you ask. What did you mean by that?
Put on a show with each other.
All right, you two put on a show with each other. What did you mean by that?
A show can mean anything.
Yeah, but what did you mean, Jason, by putting a show on?
I didn't mean anything by that.
Sex show?
No.
What do you think, they're going to sing Christmas carols? Come on.
Show's a show.
Okay.
Anything is a show, correct?
And you brought money here tonight.
Yeah, I just handed her money for her time.
How much money?
$500.
$500. And you wanted to stay here how long?
I believe she said 2 hours was $500.
2 hours. And what were you going to do, Jason, during those 2 hours?
Drink beers. I asked about bringing drinks. Not for anybody underage.
What drinks did you bring, Jason?
I brought beer for me and, I don't even know what the name of those seltzers are.
White Claws?
White Claws.
White Claws. Anything else?
No.
Did you bring weed?
I have legal Alabama stuff.
What makes the Alabama stuff legal?
I know the fact that you can buy it here at a gas station.
Oh, so it's like D...
Whatever the hell it
D8,
is.
D9. So you bought some of that.
Yeah, whatever the hell it is, yeah.
And do you smoke that frequently?
Occasionally.
Does it get you high?
Mellows you out. I don't know about getting you high. I'm not a drug user, so.
She says to you she wants to make sure you're going to be gentle with the 15-year-old girl. And you say you're a sweet guy. What did you mean by that?
Wasn't in reply to that. I mean, I'm a nice guy. I'm not trying to do any harm to anybody.
Yeah, but you were inferring in this conversation that you were willing to have sex with the 15-year-old girl.
Absolutely not.
You say to her, don't say any more in text. Why did you say that?
Because it sounded like she's trying to say way more than needed to be said about anything.
Right. So you didn't want to commit on text or give too much evidence that you, in fact, were interested in having sex with a 15-year-old girl.
No, definitely was not. And that's from the first text there where I heard of an age.
You say you're interested but cautious. We can work something out. Those are your words.
Yeah,
Jason.
with an adult, yes.
That's not the way it just went down.
Jason can try and spin this all he wants, but I've seen the chats, and the chats never lie.
You say you be thinking dirty.
To an adult, correct?
Who's got a 15-year-old girl here with whom you showed an interest in having sex.
No, sir. Never showed an interest in having sex with a 15.
That's not the way this went down.
If that's the way you're reading it, that's your interpretation. I have no interest in a young girl. I was looking for an adult to hang out with, have a drink with, have fun with.
But you knew there was a 15-year-old girl here, and there was talk of having sex with her.
That's what she said.
No,
and
that's
I
what
said
you said.
no.
That's not what you said. You initially raised concerns about it, then you got back on text and started to show interest in doing it. That's what this indicates.
That is not what I intended for
Well.
it to indicate. So if that's how you're reading it, I'm sorry, that's how you're reading it. I came here to hang out with an adult who I thought I was texting with.
You got in the shower.
Yes,
Then you sent pictures of yourself,
correct.
naked,
To an adult.
to an adult who has a 15-year-old here with whom you were interested in having sex.
No.
Jason, do I look like I'm a dumb guy?
Do I look like I'm a dumb guy?
Well, you're here.
Yeah.
You're here after a sexually charged conversation with a woman
A sexually charged
who's got a
conversation
15-year-old
with an
girl
adult.
here.
And what anybody does with their adult or with their child in the house or their niece or their whatever, because it was said
Stepdaughter.
all different kinds of ways,
Right. But why did you
Then I
ask
was
if they would
told.
put on a show for you? You said that.
I said, do you, too, put on a show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meaning what?
Music, hanging out, what entertainment.
So you thought you were coming to a Christmas Carol?
No, I thought I was coming to hang out with an adult female woman who happened to keep mentioning that she had a daughter here or niece here, which said 3 different ways.
And you said more than 3 different ways that you were interested but wanted to be careful.
Not interested in having sex, and never said that, and didn't intend that in any way, shape, or form.
Interested but cautious, you say. Work something out. She says you need to be gentle with her. You say, I'm a sweet guy.
You can read anything with inference. She said, are you going to be gentle with her? I did not reply to that.
I'm a sweet guy.
I specified to the messages that I was replying to.
Jason, here's what it sounds like to me. And I've been doing this a long time. It sounds like you were very interested in having sex with a 15-year-old girl.
Not at all.
And then maybe if it worked out
Not
later,
at all. And
with
there's
the older
plenty
woman.
of people. No, why would I have? Why would
why
I have
would you? You
messaged
tell
an
me.
adult?
Why won't you tell
Why
me?
would I have messaged an adult?
Why were you so nervous about the whole thing then? Why were you so apprehensive?
Because anybody that starts mentioning a child, there's nothing I'm going to do with the child.
How often do you meet people for sex online?
I have a few times in the past.
Anybody underage?
No, never.
So just today you started having interest in having
I've
sex with
never
a 15-year-old
had
girl.
interest in having sex with anyone of 15 or anyone under the age of 21.
I've read the chats.
Yeah,
Why did you-
You have them in front of you.
Yeah.
And I never once asked to have sex with a minor. And I never would.
Interested
If I
but
go
cautious.
hang
What
out
did you
with a
mean by
girl- if I
interested
go-
but cautious? What did you mean by interested but cautious?
Interested in coming to hang out with an adult, but cautious because they are saying things that they should not be saying.
Then why did you come over here if you were so nervous?
Because an adult female wanted to hang out.
Did you bring condoms?
No,
So you were just going to have unprotected sex?
I wasn't sure if I was having sex or anything.
You
tonight.
brought $500. You talked about staying for 2 hours.
And that's for time and entertainment, not.
Jason. So what? You're going to pay $500 for this woman and a 15-year-old girl to
I
put on a
didn't
song
ask
and
for the
dance show?
15-year-old girl for anything.
You were very interested in her. You asked them to be thinking dirty while you're on your way. At any time during the drive here.
I asked the person that I was texting.
Right.
I never said for anything with a minor, ever. In fact, I specified that.
You didn't. You kept an open mind to it. You were
I-
probing, and you were
No,
definitely
probing.
interested,
There's-
based upon this text, in having sex with a 15-year-old girl.
No,
And you're here.
I am here to hang out with an adult who was messaging me off of an ad on an adult site.
Right. She tells you 15. You say 15, question mark, question mark, question mark. What
Yeah,
do you mean?
are you kidding? Yeah, what do you mean? Are you kidding?
You initially say too young, thank you for being honest. But then you come back around. Talk about putting on this show.
No, she messaged
You
me
two get down with each other.
repeatedly.
You say, do you two get down with each other? You say that.
That is, okay, well,
You said it.
if that's the text, then that's the text. But
It's the text.
I'm texting while driving and texting while working.
Do you
That
two
is
get
not-
down with each other? That's what you asked. What did you mean by that?
Nothing.
It sounds like, in the best case scenario, you came here to watch 2 women, one of whom was underage, do some sort of sex show for you.
Absolutely not.
And then maybe if it works out, you'd have sex with one or both of them.
Absolutely not.
Well, I think you're lying.
You are entitled to your opinion.
All right.
I never once asked for a minor in any way, shape, or form.
You talk about it here.
No, I do not. And for you to say that is
I've got
misreading.
I've got the text.
Yeah, and
It's
like
hard
I
to
said, you can
misread.
infer what you want from any.
Well, I'm not inferring it. I'm
You
just,
are
I'm
inferring.
saying what it says. I'm saying what you said.
Okay.
You a married fellow?
No, sir.
You ever been married?
Nope.
You have any kids?
No.
37 years old.
37.
Now you're sitting in the hot seat.
I guess so.
Christmas just a few days away. On the naughty list.
If you say so. You're inferring a lot of things that were never intended to happen or never intended to be, well, whatever. Like I said, you're entitled to your opinion.
Well, I am. And I'm also entitled to tell you who I am. I'm Chris Hansen, and we do stories.
I know who you are.
You know who I am. You've seen the stories. What did you think of those stories?
Like I said, that's not my game, so that's their problem.
That's their problem. Whose problem?
Anyone trying to do harm to children.
You've seen the stories I've done before.
Yes.
And now you're in one.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else you want people to know about what went down tonight here?
Tried to come hang out with an adult. That's what's on my messages, and that's what I intended for.
Okay, there's a lot of other talk on here.
No, there is
For the
not.
record, yes.
For you to say that is misleading and false.
Jason, do you have a criminal history?
Record for drinking?
Drinking and driving?
Yeah, I do have a DUI.
You have a DUI? Is there a warrant out for you now?
Don't believe so.
Don't believe so. Okay. Well, Jason, there's some people here who want to talk to you, and they're going to come have a discussion right now.
You guys should put your hands behind your back. You got a lucky brain. Yeah.
Do you have any weapons with you, Jason?
Pocket knife on the right pocket.
The Blount County Sheriff's Office searches Jason and secures the pocket knife. His belongings are collected.
Any guns in the car?
There is a gun in the car, I believe.
Loaded?
Yeah, the handgun is loaded.
Okay. These fellows are going to take it from here. Anything else you want to say, Jason?
Sir?
He's taken outside while deputies search his vehicle for the loaded firearm.
Hey guys, in the Jeep there?
Yep.
The pistol in the center console is loaded.
They find the loaded pistol, but they also find another weapon, one Jason neglected to mention.
Oh, shit.
Back in the house, I ask one of the deputies about this alarming discovery.
Who uses a gun like this? It's not a sportsman's gun, is it?
I mean, it's not something you would use for any good purpose because it's a legal firearm, of course.
Did he say anything about it?
Nope, never mentioned anything. He told us about the pistol. In the glove box, or in the center console, but he didn't tell us about the rifle.
Jason relied on the thinly veiled nuance of his chat as a defense, but when you say things like, "Do you two get down with each other?" I mean, what are you supposed to make of that text? And then, when deputies searched his car, they knew they'd find a loaded pistol, but this folding rifle, that could be a serious crime in and of itself.
Jason will now be taken down to the Blount County Sheriff's Office for further questioning and processing. Jason was charged with electronic solicitation, traveling to meet a child to perform a sexual act, and human trafficking. We'll keep you posted on the case against him. While it's not that unusual for someone in Alabama to carry a pistol, in this scenario, it is very concerning to Sheriff Mark Moon.
Jason, 37 years old, works at a golf course. Good job. And he's here after a sexually explicit conversation to exploit a child. Deny, deny, deny.
Yeah, oh yeah.
100 excuses. I didn't know she was 15. I was here for the aunt or the mother. These guys always have a story.
It's the same excuse every time. They always want to blame somebody else or blame another reason for why they're here. I didn't see this, I didn't see that, but we have done a much better job over the last 3 or 4 investigations of ensuring all of the acknowledgments in the chat log. Every single person that we have arrested in the last, and every sting, but specifically since we're talking about this last one, we just made sure that more than once they acknowledged that the person they're coming to have an encounter with is 15 years old.
It's unmistakable.
There's no way in a court of law, based off all of the evidence that we have, they'll be able to deny it.
This fella had a loaded gun in the console of his car, and he had a fold-up rifle, along with a lot of beer. He brought some White Claws for the girl. He was ready to spend some time here.
He was. Our people that watch do the surveillance for us, one of the guys was relaying the information when he was getting out of his vehicle, and just, you know, he's in the front door, now he's closed his door, he's gone to the passenger side door, now he's in the back, and we were kind of getting nervous. You know, what's he looking for? What's he trying to get out of his vehicle? And then he called out that he's walking to the door with a large white box in his hand, and that was the White Claws that he had brought for the 15-year-old. And after he was arrested and an inventory of his vehicle was done, you're right, there was a cooler full of beer and several open canisters in the vehicle, as well as another handgun. It was a little frightening.
The gun issue. This is the South. Concealed weapons are common,
right,
for sport and for protection, rural area. Does it give you pause for concern?
It wouldn't be as concerning to me, because I say everybody, there's a lot of people.
It's not uncommon.
Right, everybody that I know of has some type of firearm. Not everybody carries one everywhere they go, but a lot of people do. The state of Alabama changed this law a couple years ago. We're a very pro-Second Amendment state, as well as a very pro-Second Amendment county. There's a lot of sportsmen, a lot of hunters. You know, it's not uncommon to have a lot of firearms in vehicles, or even people carrying them on their persons. The thing that's scary to me is when these people show up to the scenario where it's a 15-year-old or under home alone, or even if they're home with a stepmother or aunt or somebody who is their family member, they show up with what they assume to be, nobody knows what they're here for. Nobody knows that they're even here. And my concern is if we weren't here, if you weren't here, what would they do once the encounter was completed? Would they not want to pay up? Would they assault these women? Would they use these weapons to protect their identity? That's when I have trepidations about firearms.
It gives the predator a violent option.
It does.
WatchTruBlu.com is home to the full library of Takedown with Chris Hansen true crime documentaries and exclusive investigations.